Hello, listeners. Thank you for checking out Our Yard Podcast today. This is going to be episode 26, and today we're doing a little bit something different for y'all. We are combining two of the things we talk about most on this podcast, wrestling and music, to talk about one of our favorite things and one of the most iconic parts of wrestling itself, theme songs, and our favorite ones at that. I am your host, co-host, cohort, espionage, Swaggy T. And my co host today is the lovely ye old Hogmaster. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick this party.
God damn.
Oh, yeah. Today is the day we talk about wrestling things. And good ones at that.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't talking about no bullshit.
Oh.
But there may be some good ones we do forget. Before we even get started, we'd like to, again, thank you for listening to the pod. And any wrestling theme that we do not cover today, we would love for you to go ahead and comment down there in the lovely comment section which ones we forgot and how you feel about it. Without any further ado, we're going to let Ye Old Hogmaster kick it off with his number 10.
My number 10. Well, shit, boy. I'm going to have to do this. So, first off, this is strictly double E.
Strictly WWE.
We're just, I don't know. It's like a thrown together idea because, I don't know. I feel like we're doing good. Like, we're hitting on all cylinders right now. I feel, well, to what we are capable of at this moment, I feel like we can keep getting better, obviously, with the
Oh, yeah.
pod. But I feel like we're in a good zone right now. And I'm like, let's just do something. And I'm like, hey, might as well hit these theme songs up.
And
So,
also,
yeah,
full disclaimer, if you hear noises in the background, guys, that is because I'm making dinner.
right, trophy husband.
That's right.
I'm out here. I have to do this. Like, this is okay. So, this was Jim Johnson's last song that he composed before he left. This is my number 10. Is End of Day, or I Bring the Darkness, End of Days, Baron Corbin's walkout. My God,
Hmm.
man. Like, Baron Corbin, like, for some reason, some people, I think, like, some people don't really care about Baron much anymore or whatever, but I'm like, dude, he's a fucking monster in the ring, like,
He really is, man. He's a fantastic wrestler, fantastic finisher. Which, again, if we're going to wind up doing a top 10 finishers of each of us at one point, so whenever we do that, we'll definitely get more in depth on that itself. But like his theme song, shit.
dude, because, like, at this time, like, 17, he was 16, 17, he was coming up from NXT. Like, he was getting a good steady ground on the main roster, and he was fucking, dude. He was, people forget now maybe that he was a perennial like main event threat there for like during some dog shit years. Like 7, 18, 19. Like Baron Corbin was up there. Like he was always around the top of the card and shit. Like,
Yeah,
I just feel like he gets a little disrespected, which this is just theme songs, not wrestlers, I know, but I just had to give a little spiel, I guess. But dude, this theme song just fucking slaps. Like, it's kind of wild that this was Jim Johnson's last one because like it's such a fucking banger. And then they're like, yeah, we're gonna move on. Like, they got CFO, which they were actually not that bad, but Def Rebel, that's a whole different. They suck shit out of a toilet. I don't know what to tell you.
Def
Uh,
Rebel. Here's a broken clock is right twice a day is a perfect way to describe Def Rebel because we don't really like Def Rebel, but every now and then, very very rarely, does he ever come up with a good theme song. But I will give him credit. Some of the theme songs he's made are pretty good. That being said, the other 99.9% of them, fuck it, like you said, suck shit out of a toilet.
Yeah, like the best one, honest, the best work he does for some reason is like Roman Reigns.
Is the women's division.
Well, yeah, the women's aren't bad, but like Roman's, he does like Def Rebel does good on the Romans things. I'll give him that.
Well, yeah, probably because he gets paid to. Oh,
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I mean, like that's my number 10. And I will say, like, people, we're probably going to forget, and this aren't iconic. This is like our theme songs that we love to hear, like, we get hyped for. We just love hearing the shit. It's awesome. It's not necessarily, it's not necessarily a thing
like
like
most
iconic.
iconic. This isn't an
Yeah.
objective list. Like that's it. Also, that's a full disclaimer for any video we make. We don't make objective lists. We always make what we think is our favorite, like our favorite.
Yeah, like personal. Yeah.
We don't give a shit what you think, but we do. So go ahead and comment what you like. What we forgot in the comment
But,
section. But as far as like, we'll be like, okay, that's nice, and then just go from there. Um, but no, dude, I pull like that's a damn good theme song. It really is. It's heavy as hell, fits the character incredibly well,
oh,
and
yeah.
I pop every time I hear it.
It's a fucking banger.
That's
With
right.
that being said, what's your
My
number
number
10?
my number 10 is another Jim Johnston classic. And this one honestly gets slept on a lot because when you say like these guys, yes, it's a tag team, these guys' theme song, every time someone's like, "Oh, you mean this one, the one that's mid as fuck?" No, I don't mean that one. I mean the one from before you were born because we're old. I'm talking about the Dudley Boys original WWF theme song. That shit bangs so fucking hard every
What's that?
time. The pew, like fucking
Going
get me
down,
hyped up every single time. Down, don't, down, don't, down, don't. Like you got the electronic influence in there. You got obviously the hard rock. You got what sounds like a string section in there. You got some scratches. Like it's got it all. Whatever you want from a theme song as far as genres, Jim Johnston was like, "Fuck it, let's do them all," and he knocked it out of the park. The Dudleys, I mean, words can't even introduce what the Dudleys were to the tag division. Honest to God, my personal favorite tag team of all time is the Hardy Boys, but the Dudleys were a lot more consistent. They were there more. They never tried to break them up quite as much as they did the Hardys. I mean, Reverend Devon was a thing and the Deacon Batista, but we won't get into that. Shout out to that because I actually got to see that live at the one and only, like, actually televised event I ever went to. But with all that being said, the theme song itself, absolute slapper. Has always been good. I can't remember a time, even when everyone hated the Dudleys, everyone loved their theme song. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's just it's that good. And again, you talk about a theme that fits the characters. When I hear their theme song, I'm expecting a war, and 9 times out of 10, that's what they gave you. So that's my number 10. And in our opinion, once again, it's only going to get better from here.
Yep.
With that being said, give me your number 9.
My number 9, brother, I had to do it to him.
Do it, so.
Like I can't, and maybe there's a little, might be a little recency bias because I've been watching, or I watched. He was on Chris Van Fleet this week talking about his new movie, but I have to
Mm,
go. I have to go with "I Walk Alone" Batista.
God, dude, you are not wrong.
Like Saliva, dude. Okay, so most people might not know. You know, like some people might not know that. It was actually just a theme before. Like it was just the music, and it had like bagpipes, and it was all right. But when Saliva did it and put lyrics to it, dude, like
Oh,
I
it
don't know,
changed.
not said machine guns and I'll walk for miles inside this pit of danger. That shit, brother, that fucking bangs. Like Batista walking out to it, doing the fucking machine guns, goddamn fire, like the damn explosions going off. Like it just, like everything about it was just awesome. Like it was pure excellence. Like, dude, that song, and it's heavy. You know, the lyrics are badass. They're catchy as fuck. It's one of the most iconic, you know, one of the most iconic theme songs. And like when he first started getting that, like when the lyrics started coming in, you know, is when he was started to win titles. And like it just kind of all came together at once. And it was like that '05 to '09 or '05 to '10 run Batista had, like fucking phenomenal, dude. Like and it just, like that song just encapsulated the whole, you know, the whole thing. And like his character and persona. And it was funny because he's like, uh, I saw like the interview, like this woman was there. I guess she's in the movie. I guess I don't know. She's somebody, but she's like, do you not ever want to, go back again? He's like, no. Yeah, he's like, I'm retired, and he's like, I do want to go back. Like he's like, there's sometimes he's like, I hear my thing. He's like, I'll listen to my theme song, and I want to listen to it. I'm like, he's like, as soon as I hear it, I want to walk down to. He's like, I want that crowd. I want the reaction. Like I want that feeling going to the ring. He's like, it's like a drug, but he's like, but I can't do it because he's like, if I go back, it'll just tarnish what I did, my storybook ending. And she's like, oh, what? She's like, oh, like, she's like, is it a good? She's like, I want to hear your theme song. She's like, was it good? And he was like, oh, it was fucking great. And Chris Van Fleet's like, hell, he's like, hell yeah, it was good. I'm like, dude, like, it's not good. It's fucking awesome. Like, it is. It is
Yeah,
one of Ben Johnson's
they're selling it a bit
masterpieces.
short by just calling it good.
Yeah. Yeah, they sold it short. Like, it's so fucking iconic, dude. I mean, I don't know. Like, if you watched wrestling in the mid 2000s, like, you
That
know,
shit was synonymous with, dude. It was synonymous with whatever show he happened to be on, dude. Like it didn't matter. Raw, SmackDown. That one time he was on Velocity as Deacon Batista, he didn't have it at that point. He was
yeah,
having to come out to that fucking Reverend Devon shit. But
yeah,
God, thank God, Saliva was doing the Lord's work with WWE just as a whole in the mid 2000s. But
yeah, because they did most of the pay per views and, like, they did a bunch of music for them.
ladies and gentlemen, one of their biggest hits was actually the theme song to a fucking WrestleMania, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. I mean, hell, Always was a theme to Survivor Series.
Yep.
Uh,
Shout out our friend that wrote that.
oh, God. That's a whole different story. Um,
Mm.
yeah, like, it's dude, yeah, nine. It's like nine. Honestly, is probably pretty low, but of how great it is. Like I know it sounds like I might sell it short, but it's like I don't know. It's
Like we don't want y'all thinking we don't like it just because we're putting it at 9
yeah,
or that he's putting it at 9.
it's like
We
nothing
like more
major.
theme songs than we don't. Well, let me
Yeah,
make that
it's just
abundantly clear.
that and like I've done this list. Like I literally just threw it together. Like I was like, because we came up with the idea a few hours ago, and I was like, okay, we're sitting here, and I was like, I'm gonna freestyle it, and that's what I'm doing pretty much. Is like I just put down 10 songs that I'm feeling this very moment. But anyways, yeah, Batista, I'll walk alone. Like has to be a has to be a 10. Like it's I don't know. It's a good like out of a 10 scale, I'll give it an 8.5, 9. I guess I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
I really don't know how to. I don't know how to rank them on a 10 scale because it's just fucking badass. But with that
I
being
guess
said,
it
we'll go
depends
to
what
Trevor.
part of the show you're at, what all's going on.
Yeah, that's true. Like, but yeah, we'll go with. Trevor's number 9 pick.
Number 9 for me is again. I know we're probably going to say this with every pick, but we want y'all to know this is our opinion at the end of the day. And I'm going to try to stop saying that. But the reason I say that is because a lot of people actually try to say this was a bad theme song, and I fully disagree. You talk about fitting a character. It's like I feel like it's one of the best. It might be top 5 as far as fitting the vibe of that particular character. And we're talking about Lita's theme song, the Queen of Extreme. Uh, the reason Matt Hardy is a cut, whatever you want to call her. Boy, Boy Meets Car wrote a fucking banger for Lita, and absolutely every time you hear those acoustic, like those non-distorted guitars come in, kind of sounding like a damn something out of a Middle Eastern movie. Got that Arabian kind of peninsula kind of vibe to it, and it just absolutely fits the character because it's like, man, this feels like some magic's about to happen, and then all of a sudden, here comes the person, man or woman. I'm dying on this hill. Best moonsault in history. I don't give a fuck. Lita perfected the moonsault the same way that Kurt Angle pretty much perfected Ken Shamrock's ankle lock. Like, that's just how it goes. I associate the moonsault with Lita before I associate it with anybody else, man or woman. And I know that's probably kind of a hot take. I don't know. I don't think it's that hot of a take. But again,
I
this
don't
isn't
think it's,
about her wrist. Huh?
I said I don't think it's that hot of a take. Like, I mean, she was one of the best to ever do it for a reason.
You're damn right. But with that being said, man, like Lita's theme song, I'd have to give it like again on a 10 scale. It's kind of it's really situational, but just on your average Monday night, hearing the like I'd pop every time, like every single damn time. And I love the fact that they didn't just like stick her to the fucking Team Extreme theme song, which we will get into later in this video. But I'm really glad that they actually had a theme song for her that wound up giving her a little originality as a character. Um, it definitely fit the vibe of her just being an absolute psychopath as soon as she stepped into the squared circle. Everything she did in the ring, even fucking Edge, she put her whole heart and soul into. And for that, I got to put it at 9. And I mean, what they did with that theme song, truly, like the vibe of it, the energy, the hype up, her entrance, like it was just perfect, man. And even like if this next Friday night, if you were to hear Lita's theme song, every single motherfucker in that stadium standing straight up.
Oh yeah.
That's just the truth of the matter. But at the end of the day, one of the best theme songs ever put to paper, one of the best theme songs that ever made it out. And yeah, during the Jim Johnston era, and being a song that I'm about 85% sure Jim Johnston actually had nothing to do with, a banger, a banger in all ways. Really, I could probably make a whole podcast just on her theme song alone. But man, like number 9, I feel like I'm selling it a bit short, but no, it's like that. And there, I do feel comfortable about the 8 I have ahead of it. So, with that being said, speaking of 8, we are going to old Hoggy's number 8 pick real quick.
Oh, we got to do it. This okay. So I think this, there's characters that have had multiple theme songs, and there's one that sticks out. Like, okay, this would have been his. Okay, I guess if you could count, because everybody when they come in always has like they always have like the generic superstar thing. Like Randy Orton had one, and any like they Batista had, like everybody had one, right?
Yeah,
And like this dude had one, and then he had like in his group he was in, they had one. Um, but this like his, I guess it would have been his. If you wanted to count, if you want to count the generic one, this would be his second theme song, I believe.
all right.
But anyways, and everybody talks about his new one. everybody talks about Cody Rhodes' new one. You know, like the
Mm.
Kingdom and stuff, which it's all right. Like it to me, it's a little like I just think it's like it's based around his hype is why it's so popular. Because
Yeah.
his best theme song, without a shadow of a doubt, is "Wow, you're only smoking mirrors. Wow, you're only smoking mirrors tonight. Wow, there you go, mask. Oh, brother, that shit. Let me tell you something. Dashing Cody Rhodes, smoking mirrors. That shit goes hard. I remember like watching him, like dude, when he would come out as Dashing Cody Rhodes and like come out to that theme song when when I was like early teenage years. I was like, dude, like this dude's gonna be a fucking superstar. Like he had so much fucking charisma with that song. I think they shit the bed on that character, honestly, because like he should have been more than what he was. Um, I mean, I know he was like he won a tag team with Drew, and he won the IC title and some stuff, but I don't know. I think like he could have been more, man. Like Cody Rhodes was fucking awesome. Like that dashing Cody Rhodes, like him coming out too. So it's so good, man. Like you get hyped every time you hear it. It's like at least I did. I love that song, man. Like it is. Like I said to me, I think it's his best theme song. Like they had another version of it, like they had the undashing Cody Rhodes version, which is kind of like slopped and chopped, screwed shit. Um, I don't know. Like it was all right. Like there was some other ones and like the Stardust. Actually, the Stardust theme it kind of does. I'll give it like it actually goes hard for what it is. Like it wasn't horrible. And like his new theme song, I don't think it's like I would love to see him come back out like to turn heel and like come back as Dashing Cody Rhodes. That would be fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
And like just to hear that theme song. But yeah, like dude, Smoke and Mirror, like that's number 8 for me. It could be. I don't know. I feel like it's a good place for where, like, because I had to shout it out, man. Like that song gets stuck in my head all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like that's a good place for it. And I don't really have all that much to add to it other than like it fit the character damn near perfectly.
Oh yeah, like you played into it so well.
Oh, yeah.
But with that, we'll go to your number 8.
That's right. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to Christian's theme song and not the one with the man singing, but with the woman singing, the original version. Peak fucking Pete Christian right there. I'm sorry. Back when he had long hair right before he cut it short. Like that's Pete Christian right there. I'm sorry. It just is. I don't make the rules. But quick little change since you said Cody Rhodes theme song. I want to talk somebody. I want to talk about somebody's theme very close to him. And since you brought him up, I got to bring up his brother. Gold Dust's theme song is one of the most amazing fucking things I've ever heard in my life. And maybe it's just because I'm a big fan of Genesis and it sounds a lot like Genesis to me. But as soon as you hear the horn come in, or the oboe, or the flute, or whatever the hell that is, it's some sort of wind or brass instrument coming in. And then you hear the chimes, and then you see the Shattered Dreams Productions presents Gold Dust. And then all of a sudden, that synthesizer comes in and those pounding drums, and it's just like, Jim Johnston really went deep, deep into his bag on that song with his musical ability, and it definitely shows. I think one of the most iconic theme songs of all time, by far. The way it sets up what kind of character he is without directly, like, because it's hard to put a theme song to a character like Gold Dust and make it make sense. And we're not talking about the original one from like, Golden Era going into the Attitude Era WWF. I'm talking about the one there in like the Ruthless Aggression era. If you haven't heard that, again, listen to all these. Like, listen to all 10 from each side. I guess technically 11 since I shouted out Christian, but Gold Dust's theme song, just as a whole, like Dustin Rhodes really played that character very well to begin with. One of the funniest characters to ever grace WWE as a whole. I feel like they should have pushed him quite a bit harder, considering it's Dustin fucking Rhodes. But what he did with that character was like it will live in the hearts and minds of wrestling fans throughout the world forever. And I feel like a really big part of that is just how good his theme song was. And a lot of people don't even remember how good his theme song was. And the slow build up into the release, into the climax, I feel like that is a theme song that Def Rebel has been trying to recreate for the better part of half a decade now, and it's just not working. Someone please tell him that he needs some milk. Like this is also going to be known as the top 10 theme songs slash fucking Death Rebel shit on party. And we might have a Death Rebel theme or two, I guess. We'll see. But probably not. But yeah, Gold Dust number 8, easy for me. Um, it's hard for me to think of a lot more theme songs that were better than Gold Dust. Um, And at the end of the day, I mean, you could realistically put this higher up on your list, but Gold Dust's theme song is just chef's kiss. Fit the character perfectly. Sonically speaking, it's a very pleasing song. It doesn't leave you hanging. And the pop he usually got as soon as you would hear the drums into the cymbal crash, people were already on their feet cheering because they knew they were about to see Gold Dust in the ring. And
Oh
no
yeah.
matter what you thought of Gold Dust, undeniably one of the best workers of all time.
Oh
The
yeah.
man behind the face paint, one of the best workers of all time, without a doubt.
Like he's
You
still
can,
doing it, dude. I think he might be
yeah,
doing some of his best work right now in
yeah,
AEW.
and you could make an argument that he's the better brother as far as like on a technical level. But Cody's pretty undeniable himself. But I man, I was just always such a big Gold Dust fan when I was a kid, and I feel like a big part of that is his theme song. So number 8 for me, Gold Dust theme song. We are going to go to number 7 on the other side of the country.
So this is a problem doing this shit. Like me doing this last minute. You know what? Since you shouted out Christian, I had him on my list, but I'll just keep it as an honorable like because I love Christian. Like
Well, I never really went into it. I mean, if you want
no,
to tackle
I
Christian, that's
mean
all fine with me.
I love the song. Like I love the fucking you know I love it coming in, but like I don't know, like just hearing Christian's theme song, dude. Like I always like Trevor found this that like when I growing up, like I never was a big Edge fan. Like I didn't. It's not like I have a problem with Edge. He just never resonated with me per se. You know, but who did? Like I know I love Christian, dude. Like Christian was to me just I don't know. He was I liked him a lot. And like when you heard that, if you close your eyes, your life a naked truth revealed. Dude, like that shit just went hard, brother. But I'm not, we'll have that. Me and Trevor just make that an honorable mention. You know, we'll just have that as our special. Um, like I said, since Trevor talked about it, I'll just throw it in with him. And I will, because I really want this one on my top 10. I'm going to throw this at number 7. And it is, I mean, one of the best things that like the Matitude era, like when Matt
My
Hardy,
God, dude.
whoa, yeah, I can slap a tornado, I can
God, what a
dry
theme.
up the sea, yeah.
Yeah.
When I live for the moment, brother, that shit. Let me tell you, that shit goes fucking hard. Like when it hit, dude, the pop, man. Like everybody was like, hell yeah. Something about like I don't like. course, everybody, Jeff's the more successful like singles competitor, obviously. Um, but dude, Matt Hardy's to me his theme song. I always fucked with it. I always fucked with it heavy, like more than I did. No more words from Jeff, which is not
Yeah,
saying it's bad. I love like obviously that's an iconic song. We're not taking nothing away from
that's
it.
not even Jeff's
Dude,
best theme, though. I mean, we are keeping it to WWE, but again, we got to shout out fucking Another Me from TNA
oh
because
yeah,
good lord. But sorry.
no, you're good. Yeah, dude, like Matt Hardy lived for the moment by Monster Magnet, who we
Mm.
actually I talked about yesterday. Their album, um, from '98, dude. Monster Magnet is, I think they're an underrated band, and like that theme song goes fucking hard. And if you guys want to listen to it, you might as well go. Like you have to go on YouTube. So if you're listening to us, just go ahead after this episode, or hell, right now, just go to type in the search bar, live for the moment, Monster Magnet, and it'll pop up. It'll show the WWF theme song, or um, what's that? What's it called? WWF
It's not
unforceable entry. That's what it is.
it's like it's forced entry or something like that.
Yeah, not unforced. Yeah, forced entry. Yeah, forcible entry.
Unforced entry is be like, can I come in, please, and like knock on the door.
Yeah, but yeah, dude. That shit goes hard, man. Like Matt Hardy, dude, like come out there waving his hands, fucking that song popping off. I don't know, it was awesome. Like it just there was a moment. I guess you like I think of like him and Shannon Moon like coming out there. Goddamn, dude, it's awesome. That's like that theme song fucking rocks. Like I said, don't close your eye or just close your eyes. Like I was gonna have that, you know, I put it in there, but then I was like, I started thinking of things. I was like, holy shit, I gotta throw Matt Hardy's in there because man, what a fucking song that is. And it just like it encapsulated his added, like it encapsulated the character, persona, everything, just perfect to me.
Attitude.
Yeah, Matitude 1.0. Um, it was just, yeah, it was. It's good shit, man. I love it. I would, yeah, live for the moment. Monster Magnet. Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy.
Mm.
Oh, been a long day
Mm.
again. Matt Hardy's same song, dude. Fucking chef's kiss on that shit. Fucking Jim Johnston was in this bag for real. Um,
You
yeah,
could
and
even say
then
Jeff Kiss. Oh.
oh,
Mm.
but yeah. After that, we'll go into Trevor's number 7 song.
That's right. Number 7 is going to be one of the few that's actually from today on this list, and some people may be over this theme song at this point, and I personally don't give a damn. I'm going to be talking about Edge's third, I guess fourth technically, theme song that is now being used as the Judgment Day's theme song. The Other Side by Alter Bridge.
Mm.
Jesus fucking Christ. Disclaimer, I love Alter Bridge, so there might be a bit of bias. I do like Metalingus quite a bit. I mean, that's one of the most iconic theme songs. You could make an argument that is the most iconic theme song of all time, and I wouldn't disagree with you. But as far as like songs that I like that they have used by Alter Bridge as theme songs, The Other Side is damn near perfect. It encapsulates what the group is. It encapsulates pretty much everything rotating with it. Like the little fist bump that Finn and JD usually give each other right when the beat drops, just chef's kiss on top of that, as well as presentation. The intro itself with the chorus in the background doing the I probably butchered that, but you know what I'm talking about. The theme song itself is a masterpiece of a song as a whole and as a masterpiece as far as being a theme song as well. I remember the first time I ever heard this, it was actually probably about a year ago when Edge started doing the Judgment Day with Damien and Maria. And there was a few entrances where they had that were a little weird. Like I remember the floating throne that was really weird. But like ever since then, they've really gotten the presentation of it down to a T, and just everything they've been able to do with it since then has just been mm, amazing. Every time I hear that theme song, it gives me goosebumps. I love it, and I feel like it is a theme song that will age incredibly well. So this is a theme song that I really don't think they have to change ever, really, if they don't want to. But I mean, at least for the next 5 years, at the very least, I could see them pulling this theme song if the Judgment Day is around for the next 5 years. I mean, there's a lot to be said that it might not be, but I feel like this theme song still needs to stick around in one way or another, even if the Judgment Day does split up. I want to hear this theme song stick around, you know, and it's not that Finn Balor had a bad theme song or anything like that, and it's not that Carlito has a bad theme song. As a matter of fact, I really like Carlito's like OG theme song. But as far as just you know what this song is to the Judgment Day and the pop that I usually give, even though the Judgment Day is one of the biggest heel groups in the business right now, I love it every time I hear it because I'll just be like, "Fuck these dudes" and be headbanging the whole time. So I think that speaks volumes as to how good of a theme song it is. And yeah, very comfortably the other side by Alter Bridge at number 7 for me. With that being said, we are about to go on to our fifth picks. Number 6, fifth pick of the day. Go ahead and hit them with it.
Oh, it's easy. It's
Hmm.
oh, let's light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up. Let's light it up,
Hmm.
light it up. Hey, fuck you, bitch. This is goddamn AJ Lee fan over here. Listen, some like you know, I don't know what top three all time women's wrestler like.
Easy.
Like, dude, AJ Lee was such a fucking. She was a menace in the fucking ring. Like this song, like dude, it fit so perfect. Like her bubbly character, but like it was like so bubbly and shit. But then she gets down, like she gets down to the ring, and it's like she starts wrestling. It's like, oh, this is a wicked son of a bitch right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny just how the theme song plays out. Like, it is bubbly and all happy and pop, and then like it does fit her character where she's skipping down to the ring, and then like she gets there, and then she's ready. Like, and then it just turns into an ass beating for everybody. Like, dude, that theme song. Oh my god, it gets me so fucking hot. Even when I'll go back and watch some old stuff. I go back and watch like old Raws and stuff, and or pay per views, and she'll come down like AJ Lee music will just hit randomly and come out, and I'm like, oh my god, like I just freak the fuck out every time, dude. I swear to God, I hope one day, I hope she comes back. She don't have to wrestle. It would be awesome to see her wrestle again. She don't have like she could just show up and like because don't forget that she was one of the best mic workers too. Like
Yep.
AJ
I feel like
Lee,
that's a part of her character that a lot of people sleep on, actually.
yeah, dude. AJ Lee was just top notch everything, dude. Like one of the best to do it. I mean, she's phenomenal, man. I don't know what to say. Like she's awesome. And like, dude, if she could just come, like, just to be in the ring, like with CM Punk, just to have some kind of thing, especially with this whole, bracelet, and like having her deal with this, like, it would be awesome if she just showed up at Bad Blood, while it was a Hell in a Cell match. Dude, could you imagine the pop she would get?
Dude, it would feed families. I'll leave it at that.
Like, I would love, and there is a possibility of it just because, you know, there's no more events. You know, it's Triple H's, you know, company now, and like, she actually might want to come back and, surprise us and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe one day. I mean, this is Triple H's dub, so anything can happen. I mean, Bret Hart's back,
Yeah.
at least for a little bit.
So, like, I don't know. I would love for her to come back. But yeah, my six pick, yeah, it's let's light it up, AJ Lee. Dude, like, I don't know. It's just fucking it. God damn it, just hypes me up, dude. It puts me in a good mood. You know, it gets me going.
And a
So,
wonderful song is that.
with that said, we'll go to your number six.
Mm, number 6 for me, we're going back to a classic one. And one of the best Canadian wrestlers of all time. I know what you're thinking. You better
Uh-oh.
not take my pick. I would never. We're going to be talking about Chris Jericho's original theme
Chris
song when he debuted.
Benoit. No.
Mm, different Chris. No, we're going to be talking about Y2J's original theme song because his theme song throughout his tenure in the WWE was usually the same thing, but the very first version of that, like pretty much like the theme song that he debuted to and then went out there and then he had like one of the best promos he ever cut in his life with The Rock standing in the ring and he's up on near the Titantron and everybody's like, "Oh, who is this?" It's back when, returns and debuts were a surprise. And nobody knew who the fuck it was coming out there up until they said break the walls and it said Jericho. And then you want to talk about one of the biggest pops in WWF history. Just that debut as a whole. Well, I mean, we could make a whole like best debuts podcast as well, but like that song with his character. I mean, it's hard to find another song that fits a character better than Chris Jericho's theme song. Any iteration of it, really. But the original one from like 1999 to like 2000, 2001, whenever he finally decided to go to the next one he was using. But the long haired, the lion tamer, the young lion, Lionheart, Chris Jericho, just that specific theme song was absolutely wonderful. The drop on it as soon as it had the first like kind of vocal climax and then going into the verse or the hook or whatever it is because it's kind of like that's another thing with like Jim Johnston is like some of his theme songs will have like hooks and verses, some do not. Chris Jericho's is it's kind of hard to tell what's the verse and what's the hook because it's a very like call and response type of song, but I don't think it really ever had that effect. The effect it had was getting the entire crowd jiggy. Would probably be the best way to put that. But it was just a wonderful fucking song as a whole. Mixed insanely well for something that came out in 1999, especially from the WWE music studio. And it's just absolute banger of a song on top of that. And once again, like I said, fit the character to a T. And yeah, that's going to be my number 6 pick. And we are officially halfway through the list with that. Do you have anything you want to add? Any honorable mentions that we might have not gotten to yet?
Honorable mentions. I don't know. I mean, we might have some at the end of it. You know, you have to go because I don't want to spoil too much. Like, say if I say an iconic one that I didn't put on there, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I know. I guess I can shout out your favorite Bailey's first theme song when she
Oh yeah, I
was
love that
main
shit.
roster,
It's not on my list, but I love that fucking theme song.
when she was a hugger.
Ooh, yeah. Definitely. I don't know what Vince was thinking with them shirts.
They're
If you
ready
haven't
to
looked it
stop
up,
with us now. We celebrate on the floor. Top down, we're ready to go. To all the people across every nation, turn it up and give me some more. There ain't no stopping us now. Oh, man, that shit,
Kind
dude,
of a
it's so fucking catchy.
that shit was bumping, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And as soon as I watched Bailey for the first time, she had that theme song, and I was just like, "Yep, that's my favorite wrestler of all time." Like,
You're like,
that's
there
my new favorite
goes.
women's wrestler of all time.
You
But
saw her and you were like, Kenny Chesney. There goes my life, my everything.
pretty much, like
Like I got my
another shout out that I don't think you have on your list. I know I don't have it on mine, and probably because it's a bit of a hot take as far as being one of the best theme songs of all time. My Time by Triple H, the DX, yeah, like the DX kind of era version of Triple H's theme song.
yeah, like him
Like
and
I know, yeah, like the game, yeah, it was China's theme song as well. But the game, everybody knows the game, and everybody knows, King of Kings. Like those two theme songs are very iconic in their own right. But I just always preferred the more rap rock aesthetic that Triple H would walk out to, and yeah, special shout out to that.
well, with that being said, I got to do that. Like you know, we got to do it, brother. For my, for my goat, my favorite wrestler. I mean, I got to even his new one is it's good, but like I gotta do this one because I can only play. I gotta just play the beginning of it because I don't want to butcher it because like this song is so fucking good. You ready?
Hit me with it.
It's the fucking show off.
Correct.
It's the fucking show off, baby. It's goddamn Dolph Ziggler. That's my dude. People give me shit for that being my favorite wrestler. I don't give a fuck. Like Dolph Ziggler was the motherfucking man. He could have. I know he did have the belt twice. Like he should have been. Dude. He should have been a fucking 7 time world champion easy. Like
Easy.
Dolph Ziggler, one of the most underrated wrestlers. Well, what's crazy is like I say he's underrated, but like everybody knows that he got fucked in the WWE. So like really, I mean, you really can't blame him. Like it was really just fucking Vince, honestly, and the writers. Like they just fucked him over and over again.
Yeah.
Like I wish he could be in, Triple H's, you know, product right now, but it is what it is. But we're not talking about the wrestlers, I guess. But yeah, this dude, that theme song, like I had to play the top of it. That fucking shit. Oh my god! Like when it would pop off, dude. Like I don't care. I don't like you were moving. Like you were fucking feeling that shit when it popped off. Like every time, and you knew like it was the fucking show, dude. It was the show off. He was the show stealer. Like he was the fucking man. And like you see him come out, and you're like, oh yeah, like we're about to get our bang. We're about to get the most bang for our buck right now. Like can't go wrong with Dolph Ziggler. Like you can even in his first one, I Am Perfection. I love that. But Here to Show the World is just the iconic. You know,
Fantastic theme song to boot.
Honest, honestly, I could have put it a little higher, but I tried to be a little modest because I am a big Dolph fan. So like, or Nick Nemeth, uh, as he is in TNA, your TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Um, yeah, I just like I just didn't want to dick ride too hard for Nick, but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can't. I don't know how that song doesn't get you fucking going. You know what I mean? Like you hear it and you're like, oh yeah, brother, we're going in. Just fucking, but just perfect. Fit the character. I mean, just everything about it was just spectacular. You know, 27 out of 10. Just everything was so awesome about it. But with that being said, we will go to Trevor's number 5,
Number
Swaggy
five.
T.
Mm,
It's the
number
proper
five
pride.
is actually just like a regular song that happened to be a hit, but they wound up using it as the theme song for one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. And I feel like one of the most, if not the most underrated women's wrestler of all time. We are talking about Victoria,
Mm,
and we are talking about the theme song, All the Things She Said, because at this point, Victoria was playing for lack of a better term, a goddamn psycho. And all the things she said really played well into that because it was like a character who like heard voices in her head, very Luna Vachon kind of based as far as that goes. Because if you don't know who Luna Vachon is, she played a psycho back in the day, and I feel like Victoria, like in her own way, was kind of a spiritual successor to a character like that. But I feel like Victoria took it another direction, and the Widow's Peak, I think, got kicked out of maybe once, like if that. Like I don't think anybody ever got. Wait, no, my bad. The fucking forgive me. Sean O'Hare's was the Widow's Peak. It was like a cool looking like it almost looked like a damn burning hammer, except you landed on your stomach. But no, what was it? The Widowmaker, I think
yeah.
it was. It was essentially like the most brutal
Widowmaker.
neck. Yeah, it was like one of the most brutal neck breaker variants. It was almost like a backward stunner, except the other person's legs were like wrapped around her waist, so she would just come down, and it looks like she was trying to break off her opponent's head like a can of like a fucking Pez dispenser, dude. Just absolutely brutal finish, and again that played into like how much of a psycho she came off as, and the song itself. Like if you haven't heard all the things she said, like it is one of the most iconic theme songs in its own right, but a lot of people don't remember that specific theme song. They remember the one. I don't think it was. I ain't the lady to mess with. That's not her, is it?
No.
But she had like a hip hop theme song after this, and I'm having a hard time remembering what that specific theme song went like. We got a lot of like many hands, many pots right now. My mind is a bit occupied. But as far as like all the things she said, absolutely fit the character. And big old special shout out to the two women that pretty much faked being lesbian to, I guess, sell a hit record, and they did. um, and yes, it's that song. If y'all were curious, it was actually one of the biggest songs of that time. Yeah, TATU, and just a huge song when it came out. And yeah, number 5 for me is going to be Victoria's All the Things She Said. So, with that being said, we are finally into less than 5. And we're going to go to number 4 on the other side of the country over there in the central time zone.
Mm,
Mm,
number 4. We got to do it. You know, and some people might be like, they probably think this is my number 1. But it's number 4. It is, without a doubt, maybe for wrong reasons, one of the most iconic theme songs. Like, you know exactly what it is when it
unfortunately.
when it happens, when you hear those bell harmonics. It's motherfucking Chris Benoit, his theme song, whatever, by Our Lady Peace. Holy fuck, dude. Like, oh, dude, I
All
remember
the social stigma around Chris Benoit's side, the song slaps. Like,
the song is a
if
fucking
you're a
banger.
fan of bass guitar, really just listen to the song in headphones. You will
Yeah,
not be disappointed.
like it's the song, we're just we're just talking about the songs. Oh man, what dude, this song is so fucking good. Like it trips me. Like I remember finding out. Shout out my boy Bradley Mask who told me that this was Our Lady Peace. I never knew it was Our Lady Peace this whole time growing up until like some years ago, and I found out it was Our Lady Peace. I'm like, what the fuck? Because like I've listened to Our Lady Peace that my uncle has showed me, and it does not sound anything like this fucking song. And it's like it just never, the two never correlated in my fucking head. But yeah,
I mean, to be fair, how many Fanger 11 songs sound like Slow Chemical?
yeah, that's true. That's yeah. I mean, that's very true.
I know you're not a big fan of that theme song. I like it a bit, not enough to put it in my top 10, but to be fair.
Yeah, but dude, it is yeah, like whatever it fit the character perfectly. Like it just like when you heard it, you know, like I remember being a kid just watching Raw or mostly SmackDown. Like Benoit was on SmackDown more often than not. I mean, you know, but like you would watch a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, whatever, and like you just hear that damn. You just hear the fucking bell. How about you just dude, it get you fucking hyped. Like it still gets me going, dude. I listen to this fucking song like all the time. Like just doing shit. I'm like it gets me locked in. Like it is such a great song. Like it is horrible. Like the stigma, I guess, around, like you said, around the song, like around the opening riff. It's people make memes and shit about it. It is what it is. Kind of in that category, but like but like separating it from everything, like the song itself is just so fucking good. Like Jim Johnson, he was just what can you say? He was the fucking man back in the day.
He cooked
Like
up a damn miracle.
he was just writing bangers after banger.
No, it was a goddamn amazing song, truly. And I feel like, sorry about that. I am taking some water and some paper towels in because I am a good boyfriend, and we do the thing here in Oregon. But with that being said, sorry about that. Number four on my end of the world, I gotta go with a song that really needs no introduction, but I'll do my best. When they originally found this song, again, this is not one that Jim Johnston technically wrote. It was basically, how would you say, it was copyright free, so it was essentially like a stock song. Like you have stock photos, this was a stock song. And since then has become one of the most iconic theme songs of all time. And of course, I'm talking about the Jeff Hardy, like the Hardy Boys, their tag team theme song. They had, I mean, they still have it now, technically,
Yeah, they are
but
using it in TNA.
as they should, because why would you not? It's one of the most iconic theme songs of all time. And insane fucking theme song, fit the characters perfectly. Like as soon as you hear it, you're like, yeah, I'm about to watch somebody jump off a ladder through a table. And you were absolutely right. No disqualification match. Well, that's not what tonight is, but that is what tonight is because it didn't matter. Anytime the Hardys got in the ring, someone's going to get hurt. Probably them, but they played their part very well. Both of them had their own Fortnite emotes as they went down to the ring, and I mean, arguably the most over tag team of the last 30 years. I mean, you could probably throw the Road Warriors in there, Legion of Doom, whatever you know them as, Hawk and Animal. Like, I really can't think of another tag team more over than the Hardys in WWE history. And I know if there's any old heads listening, y'all will probably be pretty quick to correct me on that. But really just sit there and think about how big those pops were. As soon as the dun 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 dun, dun and then that long guitar chord getting drawn out, and then finally the drop happens, and you were just in awe of the lights, cameras, the lighting on the screen itself, because they'd usually have it flashing back and forth like NWO, but actually good. And just absolutely wonderful, wonderfully made. How that was a free song for free usage blows my fucking mind, because I don't think really anybody knows who wrote that song. Whoever wrote that song and recorded it, fucking shout out to you, man. Or woman. Like, we don't know who, like, nobody knows who wrote it. So, whoever did that, absolutely shout you out. And y'all ripped ass on that one in the best way possible. Just phenomenal song. Incredibly exciting. Gets me hyped up every time I hear it. Um, I tried talking Harley into making that the intro for the podcast itself, but here we are, and we'd rather give credit to somebody that actually like deserves it a bit more as far as not being heard. So shout out Rudy's Gherkin. But with that being said, yeah, the Hardy Boys theme song still in use today in TNA if you want to hear it, but if you haven't heard it, just check it out. And with that being said, we're going to go to our top three. We are to Harley.
All right, boys. This is easily the best. It's the best instrumental song. It's to me, it's the best instrumental he ever did. Jim Johnson ever did. It didn't need any lyrics. It didn't need shit. It was, oh my god, and it gets stuck in your fucking head so bad, so easily. And I am talking about Metal, the Kurt Angle theme.
Mm.
You suck. Oh, brother, this song. I don't. I like. I'm telling you, as far as like, I'm telling, like, pound for pound, like his instrumental theme songs he wrote. This is the best. Like, it's not a comparison to me. Like, this is one of the best fucking theme songs ever. Like,
You
it
talk
hit,
about fitting a character.
dude. Oh my god, it fit Kurt Angle so well. Even shout out Perk Angle's theme song in TNA. That's a fucking heater as well.
He never had a bad theme song.
What?
He never. I mean, he never had a bad theme song. He's one of the few wrestlers I can think of that didn't have a bad theme song.
Oh, he only had two, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, to my knowledge, I think that's all he had. One that was metal, and then I don't know the name of the TNA theme song. I don't know. I really don't know the name, but it was a fucking banger. But no, dude, metal. I don't know how you get better. Like, I do have two more that are better than this. Like, in my opinion, like, that are up there. Like, dude, I love this fucking. I could listen to this theme song on repeat. Like, it does not bother me. Like, I absolutely love everything about it. The horns. I mean, the guitar. Like, everything is just so fucking perfect. I really can't express just how awesome it is. Like, yeah. And I mean, if you haven't heard it, then you've never seen Kurt Angle walk out into a WWE ring, is all I got to say. Because, like, that's all he comes out to, baby. And it is fucking electric. And, and like, shout out Edge for starting the "You Suck" chants with it, which was
That's
awesome.
right.
Which that was to me, that was a very underrated rivalry. Like, they had a lot of fucking big spots together, like him and Edge, you know.
The cage match by itself was fucking chef's kiss. It's one of my favorite matches in WWE history.
Yep.
the hair versus hair match.
Yep.
And I went to this, and I actually went to the SmackDown directly following that pay per view.
Yep.
So I
Big
didn't quite get to see Kurt Angle finally get demasked, but I did watch Maven's in ring debut. So I got that going.
Yeah. No, he did. He was bald. Yeah. He got. Didn't he
He
get?
was bald, but like no, I went back and
That's
rewatched it.
right.
Like
They never. Yeah.
he
They
didn't
didn't.
get unmasked that night. He got unmasked that next SmackDown.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
back.
like I saw the debut of Wig Kurt Angle. Like so that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
May 23rd, 2002, SmackDown, Tupelo, Mississippi. A wonderful night.
Yep. But yeah, like metal like that. Like I said, don't know how it gets. Like it's hard to get much better than that. So, but yeah. After that, we'll kick it to Swaggy T's number third or
Hmm.
number three.
Number third. Number third for me is gonna have to be again one of the most slept on theme songs from one of the most slept on wrestlers of all time. Died way too young. Rest in peace, young man. We are going to be talking about Crash Holly, and really, I think Hardcore Holly had this theme song as well at one point, but I associate it more so with Crash Holly and just an absolute ripping rock, damn near metal at points masterpiece. And anytime I think of the Hardcore Championship, some people think of Raven, some people think of Tommy Dreamer for whatever reason. Some people even kind of think of the damn 24/7 championship and think of R-Truth in that same regard. And all respect to them, you know. But if there's one person that I associate the hardcore title with more than any of those people, it is Crash Holly. Because, first off, incredible theme song. Raven had a really good theme song, to be fair, as well. But Crash Holly's theme song, all these matches he had, I mean, pretty much invented like that when they invented the concept of like an actual belt that like you have to defend 24/7. And then Crash Holly, like I remember one specific match, he was sleeping in a hotel with the belt, just laying on a chair. And some dude came in, I forget who it was, but they wind up pinning him while he's asleep. And the refs just 1, 2, 3, and there's like and they do this like ASMR thing. Crash Holly wakes up, rolls him up, gets the belt back, runs out of the hotel room. Goddamn cinema. Let's just be honest. This, like the hardcore championship was just one of the most beautiful moments in wrestling history, in my opinion. And I don't give a damn what Jim Cornette thinks about that. Not that he would even listen to this anyway. But with that being said, Crash Holly, I mean, you hear the theme song, all of a sudden, here comes a little 5 foot nothing, 210 pound dude holding a scale over his shoulder, weighing in at well over 400 pounds. Is Crash Holly. Just an absolute one of the funniest characters of all time. His tag work with Hardcore Holly was phenomenal, especially with them bringing in another one of the best women's technicians of all time, Molly Holly. I don't care what you say. Not you, specific, not you, Harley, but like anybody else saying Molly Holly sucks. You did not watch Molly Holly. I'm sorry, we weren't watching the same wrestler, obviously, but we're talking about Crash. The man passed away way too young, and it's a heartbreaking story. But go back and watch some of those Crash Holly matches, and go watch his entrance, and tell me that theme song doesn't fucking rip. And with that being said, we are now breaking into the top two, and we're gonna have to throw it back to Mississippi from Oregon, like the nuclear lob.
Number two, my number two theme song. You know, he only had it for like 2 years, I think, somewhere around 2 years. It was his, like he had one of those generic superstar theme songs, and then this was like his first actual theme song. One of the goated theme songs ever because it fit the fucking character to a T. Like, I am talking about none other than Basic Thugonomics from John Cena, from the Doctor of Thugonomics. Dude,
And the
it,
only theme song that the wrestler himself performs.
the what?
I said in one of the only theme
Oh,
songs,
one of, yeah.
I think the only theme song on this list where the wrestler performs his own theme song.
Yeah.
I had to think about it for a minute, but yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I always thought Chris Jericho was singing his own theme song, but no, he wasn't.
He actually
Um,
did sing one of them.
he sang one of them, but not the one I mentioned.
No, he sang the one. It was on the same. It was on the same album as the. What was it? It was on the same one. Hold up. The WWE originals, like 2003. They had like a whole. What was it that he did? Uh, like some of like it's like some of these stars like they tried to, you know, tried to do their own thing. Like they tried to make their own theme songs and stuff like that or whatever. Like they was pretty good. Like yeah, Chris Jericho had one that was "Don't You Wish You Were Me." Like, and it goes back like Jericho. He kept trying to change his theme song, and like Vince was like, "No, you shouldn't." He's like, "It's iconic." You know, like "Break the Walls Down." He's like, "It's just one of the most iconic theme songs." He's like, you know, he's like, "It's up there with like when you hear the glass shattering." You know, from Stone Cold, or you hear like The Rock, like it's just iconic. You hear that, like it's Chris Jericho. And
Yeah,
like I
and
mean, that was like one of the the I guess the good things like that Vince did was like persuade him to keeping that, and he would try to venture off, and he would get every time he would like throw a new theme song, a different theme song, try to venture off, it would always flop because nobody want like Vince was. He tried telling him he's like they want. He's like you can change your character. He's like, but they want break. He's like, they want break the walls down. So I mean, he wasn't wrong about that. Like everybody wanted that. So it is what it is. But yeah, but basic thugonomics from John Cena, dude. Like what a what a fucking banger. Like I actually played it on the outro of yesterday's episode of not the album reviews of '98. Yeah, like so you think you're untouchable? Word life. This is basic thugonomics, bro. Like that shit fucking hits hard. When some people, a vast majority of people probably, think the time is now is better, and I get it is probably one of the most iconic theme songs of all time. Well, you could make a case that it is the most iconic theme song. The time is now. But Basic Thugonomics was so fucking good, dude. Like, man, I like you watch SmackDown back in the day, like in the early mid 2000s. Like, when you heard them damn violins kick in, like you knew this shit was about to get real. Like John Cena was about to spit some fire on the mic, and just the theme song, like it just fit the character perfect. I mean, it went hard. I don't know. It just there was clever, man. Dude, the rapping in there is pretty damn good. As well. Like the bars that he was dropping,
oh,
like
John Cena, that's like something that not a lot of people talk about. It's like, yeah, he's a phenomenal wrestler, one of the best ever, but like he's actually a pretty damn good rapper.
oh yeah, like especially basic like that. Yeah, like the end of his verse, the you walk these two face rappers walk away with four shiners. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, that's just a ball. Like,
Talking
that's a
shit to
hell
me
of a
is a
damn.
good way to get yourself referred to in the past tense.
Oh yeah.
is one of the best bars of all time. I don't care.
No, that shit goes hard. It's like approaching. Yeah, approaching me is a quick way to get referred to in the past tense. Like, dude, that shit. The whole song that just goes hard, man. You could pick it apart. I mean, truthfully, like like hell, LA Knight referenced that theme last year before Crown Jewel. John Cena faced Solo or whatever, but like John Cena came out there and like LA Knight was there, and he was out in the ring with Roman, and LA Knight was like, yeah, he told Roman, he's like, yeah, he said, he's like, Roman, he's like, approaching me is a quick way to get referred to in the past tense, and everybody was like, whoa, and like John Cena just sat there like his face went, he wasn't ready for that. He's like, holy shit, he's like, he just pulled out some thugonomics. I was like, damn, dude, like. It's just fucking hard, man. It's so good. But yeah, that is my number two.
And a
That's my
wonderful
number
number
two
two at
song.
that.
My number two, my second favorite theme song at this moment.
That's right. And my number two and number one at that. Honestly, I guess I mean now we've already talked about Crash Holly, but like my number two and one are probably maybe not number one because people are finally starting to come around to the yeah that's a fucking banger. But number two, people haven't quite come around to it yet, and I feel like once more people actually put ears on it, they'll be like, okay, this shit slaps. And I'm talking about This Is a Test from one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, Test. And Andrew Martin as a wrestler is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated wrestlers, one of the most underrated performers, one of the most underrated mic workers of all time. And with all that in mind, in the early '90s and or the late '90s and early 2000s, had one of the most underrated theme songs of all time. It has the same vibe that My Time from Triple H does. It almost has a little bit of the Y2J, break the walls down, break down the walls. It has a little bit of that, but I feel like of all the theme songs that sound like that, I feel like This Is a Test was by far the best one. And there's a lot of rap rock influence. You have the This Is a Test, like just repeating in the background that, but it's rhythmic, so it goes with the beat, and it almost sounds like an extra cymbal. You have Test big ass walking out there to it, and you're like, oh shit, well I'm about to get my face kicked in.
Yeah.
And
Now this is a test. Test.
and
That shit's hard.
absolutely fit the character to a T, and T meaning test, obviously. And but I remember at one point I think he called all his fans testicles, and I was a testicle. I was a big testicle. I was like, but we had a really we always had a good time every time Test walked out. Um, the best big boot ever. I don't care. I'm not going to argue with anybody on that. It's just facts. The best big boot of all time. I guess the Claymore. I mean, some people are trying to say the Claymore is a big boot. It's not a big boot. A big boot is when you stay on one foot and kick somebody in the face, and that is it. The Claymore is a wonderful kick finish, but Test Big Boot is the best of all time. Some people are trying to tell me that, oh, it's Hulk Hogan. It's like he never ended a match with a big boot. Test
Mm.
did that shit, and you believed it. You
Oh
believed you
yeah.
just watched somebody's face get kicked in. Like the amount, like the way the opponents would usually sell, and I know it's 50-50 when it comes to that, is like you have to look like you're performing it well, and the other person has to sell it well. I get that. But a lot of times Test would get you with the big boot, and you're not 100% sure whether or not the other person just sold or just had their face kicked in. And I feel like the eeriness and the hypeness of Test's theme song really got you pumped up for what you were about to see. Even if it was a 2 minute match, if it was a 2 minute squash, it didn't matter. If it was a 15 minute main event, did not matter. Test was going to go out there and he was going to give it his all. And if you're still not 100% sure about what theme song I'm talking about, I'm talking about the one when he had long hair. Like, if it's that hard for you, just look up long haired Test theme song. You will find it. I promise. It's like the one he had in the like 99, 2000, 2001 ish. I think he wound up getting the more hard rock one, like 2001 or 2002. But again, another wrestler I never really felt like he had a bad theme. Um, but that original one right there in the 90s, just absolute mwah. It is my second favorite theme song of all time by far. And Tess, as far as like actual like wrestlers, probably not far off from that position as well. But with that being said, we're at number one.
Number
And
three.
we're going to go ahead and let Harley hit you with what MC Hogmaster's favorite theme song of all time is.
My favorite theme song, dude. This song is one of the hardest songs that Jim Johnson ever wrote. It is one of the best ever, and they actually brought it back for a little bit after, or like a few, like earlier in the year. I
I
guess.
just heard it in the back. I hear it in the background.
I guess like May, whenever he came back, dude. It is the one and only. And it's a shameless game, lobster head. A careless man who could wind up dead. You wear your sin like it's some kind of prize. Too many lies, too many lies. Oh, dude, that shit, motherfucking hell, boys. Let's turn it up. Goddamn, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you fight for air and you struggle just to breathe. Dude, man, that shit goes so fucking hard.
If I'd
I
have
don't
had
know
the
what to tell
presence
you.
of mind to actually have that one, it might have been in my top 10, but it being your number one, I will not even say a word about it other than it's a fucking ass kicker of a song
Dude,
for an ass kicker of a wrestler.
it fits Sheamus' character so well. Like, it's cool. Like, the fight night I never really liked. You know, he started that in 2015. Um, and then he started, he did that for 9 years or whatever, right at night. And like they started doing it. Like when he came back, I was sitting there like I remember I was like, I was like, damn, Sheamus, like, dude, I was so excited to see Sheamus again. I was like, I literally was jumping up and down, and like, and then I heard it because it played Fight Night. It did like the opening drums. I was like, damn, that's a little let down. And then all of a sudden, you just heard, and it's a Sheamus game, lobster head,
I
brother.
don't know
I
what like
fucking
it must be because like he didn't want it because I like the fan if you ask the fans they absolutely want fucking lobster head like we call it lobster head like halfway in jest halfway out of love because if you listen to it it really does sound like he's saying lobster head
yeah,
but fucking amazing theme song like there's
dude.
not enough to be said about it.
No, I mean, it's just an ass kicker, dude. Like, you talk about the best, you're talking about the big boot, like, it's kind of funny, like, you're talking about Tess and his big, which he does have the best big boot. But if you had to put somebody on the same level as the big boot, like, you have to put the fucking bro kick. One of the most,
He's the he's the only one though. Like he's the only one I will
oh,
like let
oh, yeah,
be
like,
compared to Test Big Boot. Like that's it.
that, like, it's Tess and Sheamus, like, the fucking bro kick, dude. Oh my
Albert
god.
had a pretty good bicycle kick, but it ain't the broke kick.
No, it's not the broke. No, that's what I mean. Like Tess Big Boot and Sheamus Bro Kick are the only like two. They're they are in a whole nother world. Like you can't compare anything else to them. Like dude, the bro like I get excited not like when I see the Bro Kick. Like I lose my shit at 28 years old. I'm like, dude, this motherfucker's he's still doing the damn thing. Like, and dude, Sheamus still gets a lot of hype on that shit, dude. And that knee, like the brogue knee he does. fuck. And like some, I don't know, some of his might be a little. Well, I don't know. You say his matches might be for like he has his move set, but like it's so dat, dude. Like you get to the
Hmm.
10 beats of Bodrin, you know, anything like the fucking Irish curse backbreaker, one of the cleanest backbreakers, ever to do it. I mean, the white noise, fucking iconic, dude. Like Sheamus is just like he is one of the best. He is gonna go down as one of the best wrestlers of all time
Oh yeah, no doubt.
when he finally retires. But like, I don't want that day to happen anytime soon because I love fucking dude. I love when Sheamus comes out. I just wish he would bring back. I think he's just doing trying to like just do something different in his career. I don't think because like when he brought it back, he was tweeting about it. Like I don't think he hates the theme song. I think he just wanted to do something a little different, which is cool. I get it, but dude, you have to give the fans what we want. Like if you ask any person right now, like, what's the theme song you wish you could hear? Like, out of the active wrestlers, like their old theme songs or the new, like, what's the one theme song you want people like the only two things like people would probably say, a lot of people call it too many limes because obviously that's like it sounds like he says that like it sounds like they say that, but like people would say you like written in my face, the Sheamus theme song, or maybe like out of people still in the like people might say the Shield, but only if they bring back Dean Ambrose. Like
Yeah.
if Dean Ambrose actually showed up in WWE.
And some people might also say "Burning My Light" from Randy Orton.
Oh yeah,
And I mean, I don't disagree, but voice is just better. Like it just is. Like I don't know what to tell you. It fits the character a lot better. I personally feel like "Written in My Face" fits Sheamus's character a lot better than the fucking dun 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 dun
yeah.
dun 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 dun. Like, and not to mention, like Drew McIntyre's theme song already kind of sounds like that to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And also, shout out to his old theme song.
Broken Dreams.
Fucking "Broken Dreams" is one of the best themes ever, and it didn't quite make the cut on either of our lists,
Yeah,
but would let it be known that we love "Broken Dreams."
love it. But yeah, that's my number one. Like, dude, I hear it anytime. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go, baby.
Correct.
Anytime I hear written in my face. But with that said, we'll let Sinfo tell us his number one.
And I already hear it on your end. My favorite theme song of all time. If you've listened to this podcast, is probably not a surprise. I feel like this is one of the most underrated superstars of all time in his own right. One of the best DDTs. One of the best in like impaler DDT. I mean, that's what he called it. So I guess like of that style when you're lifting somebody up and DDTing them into the ground, like I mean, it was very hard to beat. It was a gimmick that should not have worked, and he worked his ass off to get it over. And without him, Edge and Christian may not have actually made it into the big time. And we are, of course, talking about the OG Goosebumps theme song, The Brood, Gangrel, the entirety of it. Def Rebel has been trying to recreate this for years now. And I don't give a damn what you say. It is the best theme song ever made. It fit. I can't like. To me, it is the most perfect fitting theme for a character. Given that his character was literally a vampire, he would come down to the ring with a goblet of blood, spit it into the air, and then he had this white, almost like Victorian era button up that would just be drowsed in blood. He had the prosthetic fangs in that were actually connected in him. He still has them to this day. Um, Blood all over his shirt. Just a super intimidating looking dude. Not to mention he's like 6'2", 6'3". He's a big fucking dude. And just running straight towards you as soon as the match starts. And I feel like this is a dude that really like didn't get quite the push he needed. But I mean, after you've already implanted fucking fangs into your mouth, your options are kind of limited as far as like what kind of gimmicks you're going to be given. And I feel like everything with that being taken into consideration, the drums in it are mixed perfectly. The guitars are very eerie, very like creepy, almost scary to a point. The strings, the synthesizer, like I mean, every part of this theme song is perfect. And the entrance, don't get me started on that. I don't care how campy it looks. Him, Edge, and Kristen coming out of the floor, out of a ring of fire, is some of the most badass visuals that Vince ever gave the green light on. It is absolutely wonderful the way that they would come down to the ring, the creepiness of the whole thing, and Edge and Christian were the perfect look to be the two that were, following Gangrel around. And to this day, Edge still owes a good bit of his career, like openly, to Gangrel. And Gangrel, wherever you are, last time I heard, I know there was a video of him giving somebody an impaler DDT. And last thing I read on his Wikipedia article was that he was like in like directing porn essentially. So shout out to him. Like if that's what he wanted to do, that's a pretty specific job. I mean, it's not something I'd write home to mom about, but at the same time, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do, and I'm not going to judge him for it. But back to the theme song, amazing theme song. In my opinion, the best theme that Jim Johnston ever made. And I know that's a very highly debated, highly sought after position. And I know y'all are probably wondering, where's the Rock's theme song? Where's The Undertaker? Where's Kane? Where's Stone Cold Steve Austin? Where's Shawn Michaels? Where's Bret Hart? Well, there's your shout outs. And those are more iconic than they are, like, in our opinion, better than any of the 10 we named. Um, but I can't really like honest to God, like the Rock's theme song, hot take, it sucks. Like if it wouldn't have been the Rock that had that theme song, it'd be shat on as one of the worst theme songs of all
Oh
time.
yeah.
Like I'm sorry to hurt anybody's feelings listening to this, but this like if you really think it was that good, go back and listen to it. Just go back and listen to it and then like compare it to the 10, like the 20 that we just named and tell me that it's better than any of those. And then we will politely block you. And well, no, we're joking. Thank you for watching. But no, back to the Brood. Like the Brood as a whole was one of my favorite groups as a kid. It was kind of weird to call them a faction because they weren't quite a faction. I mean, they had some stuff going on backstage, but the theme song was just, oh my god, dude! Like something about Edge and being associated with like the best theme songs in wrestling history. There's just like he's got the ear to know what's going to be good for him to walk out to, and obviously Metalingus is way up that list. But I feel like this was by far the best theme song he ever walked out to or was associated with in any capacity, and that is why I have it number one. As well as just Gangrel as a character, like you couldn't have written a better theme song for a fucking vampiric wrestler. And as goofy of a concept as that is, I don't really look at gimmicks as being goofy because if you look at The Undertaker, like if I were to blindfold you and tell you, did you know, like there is a wrestler right now that you would really like, and you'd be like, yeah, what is that? And then I tell you, yeah, he's dead. He's dead and he's a mortician. He's like an old west mortician and he's dressed in like black and purple and he wears a suit and a tie and then he's like rips the sleeves off and he's got this little hat that he wears down there. It's like an old duster kind of hat and he wears a duster down to the ring. And there's this little fat dude with him that's holding an urn full of ashes that he gets magical powers from. You would tell me, sir, this is a McDonald's. Please get out of the drive-thru or order something. And I would be like, no, you got to check it out. But no, like Undertaker, it really is like the man or woman always makes the gimmick. And I feel like Gangrel never really did get a fair shot at having a gimmick that wouldn't be laughed out of the building. But with this gimmick that he had, you would have given it to anybody else on the planet, it would have not worked. And I feel like a good reason as to why this gimmick worked as well as it did is because of the theme song and the entrance and just the entire, like, goosebumps for adults kind of vibe that it gave off. And to reiterate, that is my number one.
Yeah.
A beautiful time.
Yeah, like if you, I don't know, like out of stuff that we left on here, like as far as like iconic theme songs, like you said, like obviously if we did iconic shit, like you'd have to do,
Oh,
HBK, like say,
fuck. If we did iconic, the Glass Shattering's number one. I
oh
mean,
yeah, and then like the time is now is probably number two.
yeah.
Undertaker is probably number three. Like when you hear that gong,
Oh, yeah.
I
I was
mean,
a big fan of Ministry Taker's theme song with like the
oh yeah.
chorus, like the big choir in the background. They knocked it out of the fucking park with that one. But
Or one that we both haven't even talked about, like that's an honorable mention, has to be who's that jumping out the sky? REY
are you want
Mysterio,
Mysterio?
Mysterio.
Here we go. Yeah, fucking, they killed that shit too. And I know a lot of people like the Booyaka Booyaka 619. They like it a lot, and it's not a bad theme song. It's just the original Rey Mysterio theme, right when he came to WWE, you just had to be there to understand the pops. I mean, he would literally jump again like Gangrel, but faster. He would just jump out of the ground, sparks fly everywhere. He's jumping out of the stage, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then here comes the best, arguably the best luchador of all time. So,
Yeah. And like, let's not forget, Shinsuke Nakamura.
oh man,
What a fucking banger that is.
glorious.
Oh,
No, I didn't
love it.
feel, I didn't feel till I'm victorious. I always like that one quite a bit.
Or how about your Def Rebel take on a classic? They don't want none.
Oh boy.
No.
Well, they got one part of that right. That shit sucks ass, dude. I'm
Listen,
sorry.
but the rip
AJ Styles' original theme song was fucking like the one in TNA is just like you can't beat that with a fucking stick.
uh-uh.
But the one he had right when he came to WWE is
Huh?
fucking
Huh? They
amazing.
don't want none. No, they don't want none. Like
Yeah,
that.
the good version of it.
Yeah, that shit go hard, brother. That or another good one. APA.
Oh fuck yeah.
Bum 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 bum
Da-da,
bum bum
da-da,
bum
da-da-da.
bum.
Yeah, I always had a good time listening to the APA theme song.
Another
Another
one.
one, just because it's on mine, fucking somebody's gonna get their ass kicked by
Somebody's gonna
fucking
get the
Three
wick.
Six Mafia. You talking
That
about
or
3-6 Mafia performing that shit live as Mark Henry walked out and is like, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get my ass kicked." Like, there's no way around this, is there?
mm-mm. That or another one of my personal favorite. Like that'll go down as a. I think it will probably go down as a when it's all when he is finally retired. I think it probably will go down as an iconic theme song. It has to be awesome. I came to play. I
Oh
came
yeah.
to play. There's no time to play. Dude, the fucking Mrs. theme song. Shit, get out of here, dude. That shit goes hard. Or, don't forget about I'm an ass man. Bump, bump. Dun, 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 dun. I love to love 'em. I love to stick 'em. I love to lick 'em. I love to kick 'em. I'm an
Mm.
ass man. Dun.
Doo, doo.
Such a good one. Or the original, like his first thing when he came to WWE is I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Boom, 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 dun, 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 dun. Carlito, Carlito, Carlito. Dude, that the OG Carlito theme song goes fucking hard.
Man, fucking, there is no bad. There really is. Like, I mean, I feel like every theme song that's ever come out, I know this is a very safe statement to say, but I feel like every single theme song that's come out at one point or another, like there is at least one person on this planet that likes it, except for JBL's fucking oil magnate theme song. If I hear a goddamn cowbell, ding, 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 and you're using a cow mooing as an instrument, come on, Jim. Like I don't
That's
know what
it.
you were
So
doing there.
I hated that fucking theme song.
I don't know what you're doing there, Jim Johnson. But with that being said, this has been our top 10 each. Do you have anything else to add?
No, not about our theme songs.
Hmm.
I
Well,
mean, it was a fun episode to get to talk about our favorite WWE theme songs and all that. But
I'd
with
have
that,
to agree.
you know, with that being said, we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna go
We're
on,
going to
take us a little
call
nappy.
it a night and play us our theme song.
We're gonna do this, and I'm gonna play this. We're gonna play an outro. We'll play us out. That's gonna fit the mood.
All right.
Love you guys.
We love you. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. London and Paris and Tokyo.